lovely good morning. Welcome to the Weekend GP. Yes, it is the 24th of January 2026. Yes, the days are moving quite fast. And if you are celebrating your birthday today, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. And if you are watching this particular edition, just know that we are celebrating with you. I know one person will be celebrating a birthday, and that will be tomorrow, my dear brother Michael. Happy birthday, Michael Mwanza. All right, quickly we dive into the weekend front pages. But before we do that, we look at what is happening in the world of current affairs. A lot has happened over the weekend. It's very important that we update ourselves with what is happening in the world of current affairs. But before we do that, I just want to let you know that we are live on our social media platform. You can go there, drop us a comment, let me know where you are watching this edition of the Weekend GP from, and simply contribute to the main topics that we are going to be discussing later. On the show, I'll be having a conversation with one film guru, Zambian legend, that is Owas Ray Mwape. In case you've got questions that you want to find out from him, you can send those questions via our social media platform. That is where the live feed is. And I just want to welcome those of you watching us via Topstar, channel 102, DSTV, channel 279, GoTV, channel number 27, and very importantly, you can utilize the number that is showing on the screen by sending text messages, no live calls. We can only accept those messages. Quickly, let's start with the papers. Let's look at what is happening in the world of current affairs, and it is interesting to see a lot that has happened over the weekend. And just yesterday, we go to see the Queen being put to rest, and my heartfelt condolences, our sincere condolences, and a lot did happen, especially from our media colleagues. Yes, a lot of activities did happen. The Chimbuya between the Easterners and the Northerners, and I'm happy today. I've got one of the Northerners here, and let me see how this goes. Probably I can just smear him, right? Or he wants to run away. Anyway, it is what it is. Let's look at the papers. Let's start with the Real Times newspaper. Men can be evil. That is the lead headline this morning on the Real Times newspaper. And just there, defiles girls 11 from toilet, pays her 1 kwacha and soya chunks to conceal the crime. Whoa, this is very sad. Chilewan, not in my league. Your maps there, and that is what is contained in the Real Times paper this morning. We go straight to the Mass newspaper. The Mass newspaper has got the lead headline, which is as follows: stay in your lane. Army must deal with foreign enemies. Embattled Zieli schooled on security. And we've got still on the Mass newspaper, unite or lose people's support, warned, opposition warned. Okay, Zambian employees can't be trusted. That is Hamazoka. Court orders medical examination for suspects. All right, and that is what is contained in the Mass newspaper. Quickly, we go to the Daily Nation newspaper, which has got the lead headline, which is very strong this morning. And the lead headline in the Daily Nation paper, we are thieves. That is Hamazoka. All right, this one should be for yesterday. Yes, Hamazoka admits that illegal miners across the country, depriving the country of revenue, says he is deeply concerned that illegal miners are being used by foreigners who are shipping the country's gold to foreign countries. HH meets with Southern Province Catholic leaders. Resistant illegal miners will be dealt with. That is Lieutenant General Ziele there. And we go to the Diggers newspaper. The Diggers newspaper this morning has got the lead headline, which is as follows: Mndobede eyes Tonse as he defiles Lubinda, seeks to lead alliance. Okay, last year was so bad I almost gave up music career. That is Chilewan. Tonse, ignore Tonse, Lubinda's PF ages members. Right, and just below that, fans go wild as DeVito confirms Lusaka debt. Below that, free education will become law so that no one can reverse it. That is HH. All right, that is what is contained in the on the weekend front pages this morning. And quickly, we move on to another segment where Mwamba felt threatened or maybe uneasy. Mwamba, good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing awesome. Are you Mwamba from the east or
Mwamba from the east? No, my mother is from the north, but basically my village is actually in Lusaka. It's in Lusaka province. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Kagulura.
Yes.
Okay. I was about to smear you, honestly.
No, unfortunately, I'm from Lusaka province, so that doesn't apply to me. Next time, maybe.
You know, I missed out an opportunity to smear some people from the northern part of Zambia. But anyway, you know, it's a funeral for the Queen. She was put to rest yesterday, and you know, she's not someone ordinary. And we can go on to do this for even a month, which is normal because she's a mother of a lot of people, and as such, we need to continue celebrating her life.
Definitely.
Nonetheless, we come to the things of sports, and on top of your head, what are some of the sporting activities happening this weekend?
I think the biggest activity is Kaizer Chiefs taking on Zesco United in the CAF Champions League, or in the CAF Confederations Cup. You could see how Kaizer Chiefs have prepared for the match, from the training sessions at the Naturena down in South Africa to them coming over here. And I think Zesco United has a statement, because if they lose today's match, then I think they can say goodbye to the CAF Confed, because they've lost the first two matches. And this is match day 3, and it's a back-to-back encounter. So the momentum you have, if you win today's game, gives you the momentum to actually go and push and beat Kaizer Chiefs in South Africa. But if you lose today, then I do not see them going to win away. So for me, that's the biggest fixture, and the match takes place tomorrow.
Interesting, and I cannot override your opinion, because I thought you are going to say Arsenal versus Man U.
Manchester United will definitely win that game. It's a one-sided affair. We can all see it, eh?
I'm happy that you've become local. You know, you've started embracing local sports more than the European ones, but that's how we are supposed to be. You know,
no, definitely. I feel, you know, the marketing strategies need to change. We saw what the AFCON did. The AFCON final had the biggest audience of people watching an African tournament since African tournament started. And let me give you another interesting fact. The Africa Cup final between Senegal and Morocco had more viewers than the last two Copa America finals combined. So the numbers are there. African football is there for the taking. And the thing about African football is the variety always wins. You've got 52 countries, so you've got 52 random events that could take place. Unlike South America or North America, you have like what, 8 confederations. In South America, you've got 10 confederations playing football. So in the long run, Africa has a diversity. It's got the wildcards, the likes of Zambia in 2012, the likes of South Africa in 96. And if we market our local content properly, we'll be able to actually achieve great things. And I think African football has stepped up the notch in terms of level.
All right, let's look at the fixtures that are coming up this afternoon in the ZPL as well as the Women League. Let's start with the Women League. It's very important to start with the ladies first, which is week 20. Yes, Trident Queens will be at Chantel, that is Kalumbila Stadium there, and Green Eagles Women is the team they'll be taking on tomorrow, 25th January. Rays Arena comes alive as Elite Ladies will be taking on Indeni Roses and Changa Rangers Queens at 1500 hours. That is Changa Stadium, Chingola. The team that will be making that long trip is Nkwazi Queens. Amazing Grace will be in action at ZNS Rugby Club in Kabwe. Yasa Queens is the team that will be making that visit there. Konkola Blades is another team that will be hosting this time around. ZISD makes that long trip to the Copper Belt. Below, these are the matches that have been postponed, and I'm sure the reason is very vivid, Mwamba, because these are the teams that have contributed a number of players to the national team, and including the under 20 as well as the senior women national team who are in preparation. And if you look at the calendar, the under 20 are also in camp to prepare for the Uganda game. These are basically the matches of the weekend. Mwamba, your take on these ones, really?
Yes, firstly, kudos to Zesco and Ndola Girls, Zanaco Ladies, Green Buffaloes, and Red Arrows for having so many players at the national team. I think it's something that's very commendable. But I think my match of the weekend for me is Trident Queens actually taking on Green Eagles. There's always the fact in Zambian football that how you travel to a match actually helps you win or lose the game. And I look at Green Eagles traveling from Choma all the way to Kalumbila. That's that's over 1,700 kilometers. It could take you maybe 22, 21 hours to drive that particular distance.
Almost a day.
Almost a whole day to actually just drive that distance. And I'm looking at Trident Queens being at home. They haven't been the best this season, but I think it's something they could take advantage of and maybe just beat Green Eagles. Seeing the distance Green Eagles would have traveled.
Obviously, they should have taken those precautions to ensure that the team is not fatigued and have enough time to rest. Right, we go straight to the National League. National League has got the following fixtures. This is in week 20. Apparently, these leagues below the Super League have always been ahead of the Super League itself, that is in the men's category. This one is in week 20. The fixtures that are going to be played today is Chambishi FC will be at home. The team that will be making that trip to the Copper Belt is River Plate. Indeni FC will be at home, and the team that is making that trip is Kafue Celtic. Ndola United will be at home. Makini Stars is the team that is visiting Ndola United, and all these matches are going to be played today. 15 hours. Ron United back at home after leaving Lusaka, where they settled for a 1-0 draw against Atletico Lusaka, and they will be visited by Kitwe United. Another interesting fixture, Mamba. I know you want to talk about this. Locust FC, 1500 hours at Nationalist Stadium here in Lusaka. Trident is that team which will be making that trip, and Rays Arena tomorrow Sunday will become very busy as an interesting match will be taking place. That is Atletico Lusaka who will be making that visit to Aguila Stars. City Council Chipata there at David Kaunda Stadium in Chipata will be visited by Jumuro FC and Chirundu United here in Lusaka, and Forest Rangers is the team that will, make that trip. And Lumana Radiants will be at Lumana Grounds, and the team that will be making that long trip again. Okay, I feel for these teams anyway. Brungu Haba will be making that trip to Lumana to fulfill a fixture, Mwamba.
And you know what's very very mind-blowing about this trip? So remember, in the past teams would use the Pedico Road at least cut through, but now with all the unrest going on through Congo, it means they have to go all the way from Pulungu, come to Kapiri, and then start heading north again, because you know how Zambia is shaped, because so it's crazy when you think of the trips most of these teams make. And what's quite sad is they do not have the actual financials to actually just charter a flight or something. So for me, every time a team travels over 1,000 kilometers and wins a match, I feel the home team coach needs to explain a lot of things, because then you're doing something wrong. Because I don't believe players that are fatigued should be beating a team that's well rested and well trained. But the match of the weekend for me, Amaeso's features, is Aguila Stars taking on Atletico Lusaka. I feel Atletico Lusaka lost their way in this particular season in match day 3 when they played Aguila Stars, and they lost 3-2 to them. So it's a situation now where maybe their comeback starts today, because you can call this match academy per academy. Why I say so is both teams are very academy oriented, and you see Aguila Stars coming in being the new shiny academy toy, and Atletico Lusaka being that odd toy that all the kids wanted but is no longer as popular as it used to be.
Interesting there. I know Mwamba is alluding to that game to be the biggest over the weekend, but football being what it is, I see the game from the Copa Belt, the Ndola Kitwe United game is one game that is going to be big over the weekend in the National League. But quickly, we look at what is happening in the Super League itself, which has entered week 16, and interesting fixtures that are going to be played today. But one fixture that I want you to talk about is probably, before we even get to that fixture, let's look at how the race to the APSA Cup looks like, and the teams which are vying for those positions to qualify, with about 2-1 match to go, and that is the road to APSA Cup 2026. Mwamba, interestingly, the defending champions have got a slender chance of making it, but if you look at the table, the teams below Zesco United have got about 2 games in hand. Now, with this, in contrast to the fixtures that we are going to have today, look at Power Dynamos. Power Dynamos are very comfortable. They are not drowning. They are playing ups. They should be planning already for this one. Red Arrows should be planning for ups. As Anako should be planning for ups, and Changa, they are quite a bit comfortable there. FC Moose are not really comfortable because they are on 24 points. Kawawara has 23 points. In Sesco United, basically there in the picture with 22 points. And below Zesco United is Mighty Mufulira Wanderers. And just below there, again, the drama continues. There is Green Eagles, who will be in action with Green Buffaloes today, later at Edwin Imboeda Stadium. So basically, Mwamba, before you come in, I want us to look at the fixtures as well, so that with putting this table in mind and looking at these fixtures, how crucial these fixtures are going to be. Edwin Imboela Stadium comes alive this afternoon. Green Buffaloes will be taking on FC Leopards. That is the 24th. And we've got Kansashi Dynamos, who are going to be at Independence Stadium, Solwezi, taking on Kwazi FC. Mines United at Godfrey Yukachitalu Stadium, taking on Mutondo. FC Muza will be at Nakambala Stadium. Nkana is the team that will be making that long trip. Napsa Stars will be at Rays Arena. Konkola Blades is the team that is going to make that trip. Nchanga Rangers also coming into the picture there, and we get to see Nchanga Rangers taking on Zanaco. A very interesting fixture there. Also Red Arrows at Nkoloma Stadium taking on mighty Mufurira Wanderers in a do or die fixture. And apparently this is why it's very important that you watch the weekend GP each and every morning, because these fixtures have been tweaked. Others, for example, there was supposed to be a game, Green Buffaloes versus Green Eagles, to take place at Edwin Imboela Stadium, but the fixtures, because of the continental engagements, they've been tweaked to suit what happens each and every day. But Mwamba, this is what we have in the Zambian local football scenes.
Definitely interesting fixtures, if you ask me. Straight off the bat, when I look at Red Arrows taking on Mighty Mufurira Wanderers, interesting match, because Mighty Mufurira Wanderers know to say they need to win to qualify for the ABSA Cup, and just participation in the ABSA Cup gives you a lot of money. And then you look at Red Arrows are seated at 31 points, with Power Dynamos being seated at 35, but Red Arrows have played 15 games and Power Dynamos has played 17. So hypothetically, should Red Arrows win all their games in hand, of which this is one of their games in hand, then the story changes. It becomes a different ball game. Then they can easily go top of the table.
How important is this match to Red Arrows?
Trust me, it's as important to Red Arrows as it is as important to Mighty Mufurira Wanderers. Mufurira Wanderers,
because I'm looking at Red Arrows, they are comfortable. Probably, maybe it is important to their quest.
You can't say they're comfortable. Yes, seated at 31 points with 15 games. The team topping the table is at 35 with 17 games. So there's a 4 points difference, but you've got a possibility of acquiring 6 points. You get the mathematics there. So for Red Arrows, it's probably even more important for them to win this match than it is for Mighty Mufurira Wanderers, because the title charge, to be honest, begins here. Mighty Mufurira Wanderers know to say that if we win our match today, we get enough points, we dispossess Sesco, we have a proper charge at the ABSA Cup, we can qualify to the ABSA Cup, and if we do qualify to the ABSA Cup, well, we know we're not in any pressure of relegation, then we can take our charge to try to win the ABSA Cup. So it's two teams that are actually supposed to play, because it matters for them to actually not finish the season trophyless. Another interesting fixture, of course, is Muza versus Nkana. Nkana is now on the resurgence, and they're playing good football, if I'm being honest. And Muza is a Tottenham Hotspurs of Zambia. They never win anything, but they're a very good team.
But they are there.
They're always,
you can't ignore them.
You can't ignore them. So it's going to be an entertaining match, and I want to see what Nkana are going to do in Mazabuka. I hope they don't cut down the sugarcane and burn it.
All right, Mwamba, lastly, we go continental. We've got Zesco United. I know in your preamble you did mention about this game, but it is here eventually, and it will be played tomorrow on Sunday. Zesco versus Kaizer Chiefs, match day 3 in there. And if you look at the table, Mwamba, very, 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 very heartbreaking for the Zambian team. We haven't scored a goal. We haven't gotten any point. And have we scored a goal?
Not any that I'm aware of.
Okay, we haven't scored a goal. We've just conceded 0 points. And we are meeting the Kaizer Chiefs, who are almost identical to us. 1 point, -1, +1, in the sense that head-to-head record with Zesco. This is why they are top. They've lost 1, drawn 1. Zesco has lost 2, conceded 2 goals. That is goal difference there. and points 0. They are meeting tomorrow, or today, in fact. They're meeting today.
Yes. So I know Kaizer Chiefs seem to be in a very difficult
Oh, no,
situation.
the Zesco game is tomorrow, Sunday.
Yes, tomorrow.
Today is Power versus...
Powerful Power Dynamos.
Right.
Power 90. So I look at Kaizer Chiefs and I think to myself to say, they're actually not in a bad spot. Why do I say so? Everybody will think I'm crazy for mentioning that, but you're going to play a team that's seated dead last in 2 matches. You play your cards right, you finish the 2 weekends with 7 points, and that's not the same probability or the same chance that Zamalek and Al Masry will have, to say that Al Masry is from Egypt, and let me just shed some light on Al Masry. And Zamalek is from Egypt too. So Zamalek and Al Ahly sit in Cairo, and they're the 2 biggest teams there. But there's, of course, Pyramids FC now is in the picture, seeing that they're the current CAF Champions League champions. I'm sure they'll try to flex their muscles. But then you've got Al Masry. Al Masry sits in Alexandria, and they're the biggest team in Alexandria. They command that respect there. So even as the 2 matches take place between the 2 teams, I do not expect any of the 2 teams to win both matches home and away, of which puts Kaizer Chiefs in a nice position, seeing the team they're playing against. But also, if you're Zesco United, you should be thinking of the same thing. Kaizer Chiefs is a Southern African team. It's a team that plays soccer that you're used to. And if you do win both matches, all of a sudden, from being dead last, you have 6 points, and you're right there within the top 2, and you can go and battle it out till it finishes. And I like the fact that Zesco has some entertaining. Well, the one home match they have left with the Egyptians is a good home match to have left. I think the other Egyptian team has got more pedigree on the African scene. So seeing that it's Al Masry coming here, it makes life a bit easier for them. But nevertheless, I feel it's going to be a tricky group. I don't know if you've noticed, I've said so many things, but I've said nothing at the same time. Because I'm looking at
you've said substance. I understand. It's very tricky.
It's a tricky group, and the permutations are way too many. But and this is what I always say, I feel CAF should really save us the burden of having 2 teams from the same country in the same group. Because I remember 2018 CAF Champions League, Nkana were seated dead and buried, and Zesco, of course, had the opportunity to progress if Nkana just did not lose. I know Nkana have got an immaculate record at home. They've never lost in the CAF Champions League at home. Never. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes. They've never lost. And so I remember it was actually Zamalek that came through. Yes, Zamalek coming through to Zambia, and Zamalek did not need to win for Zesco to qualify to the next round. And I remember Nkana cracking that solid for Zesco by drawing 2-2. So what this does is, in an event where Zamalek needs to qualify, of course the Egyptians still need their 4 slots. You have a wounded Al Masry that would have maybe already qualified, coming to play a fixture against Zesco or Kaizer Chiefs and trying to beat them vividly because they want their fellow countrymen to qualify. This is why I feel it's a bit unfair to have 2 teams from the same country in one group.
All right, Mwamba, in the interest of time, we have to go, but we can't go minus looking at our Yedo, our Usaka, our Clean, our Kukitwe. Yes, and that is powerful power dynamos all the way from Ndeke, and this is what is happening. Now let's look at the table. Very, very, I don't know, very identical teams. That is Rivers United, okay, from Nigeria, and they've got a -4 difference, -4, 0 points, 0 points, lost two games each, and they've played 2 games match day 3. Very identical teams with similar problems. They've all donated points to all the teams at on the top there. And how important is this game? I know you would have loved to go into the tactics and all that, but time is not permitting us.
I think Power Dynamos needs to win home and away. and that's the only way they survive from this. They've got two very strong teams at the top: RS Bekane from Morocco, and Pyramids FC, the current champions. So if your Power Dynamos win your two matches and wait for, of course, for RS Bekane to come to the country and see what you can do in that match, get your 9 points, qualify to the next round, and pick it up from there.
All right, Mwamba, I have to let you go. That's it. All the best to Power Dynamos. This is now a national affair. It's about us now. You know, when we are playing in the league, it's about you. But now this is a national affair. We have to rally behind all the teams that are going to be participating or competing, starting with Zesco United, who are playing tomorrow, Sunday, and Power Dynamos are playing today at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. All the best to the two CAF envoys for Zambia. Mwamba, thank you very much. All the best as you go to fly Emirates. I know it's not going to be easy, but as a supporter, what you should always do is be confident, believe in your team. Just like we always believe.
We know we're
just
going
like
to win.
We always believe in the mighty Chiporoporo. One day, again, the Africa Cup will come.
At least our belief bared fruits in 2012. That's all that matters.
All right, that note, we come to the end of this segment, Sports Enigma. Still to come, I'll be having the interview of the day, and I'll be having a conversation with the great veteran filmmaker Owas Ray Mwape. Stay tuned.
The internet, you have the news, but is everything online true? Breaking stories, live updates, debates, business, podcasts, sports, right in front of you. Social media has made everything easy for you to access, but is everything factual? Catch the Daylight Breakfast Show every Monday to Friday to kickstart your morning with latest stories and analysis. Catch Lunchtime Chat, keeping you up to date with on-ground stories. Tuesdays and Wednesdays has you hooked up with the Big Hour to discuss some of the biggest breaking stories in the country. Thursdays with State of the Nation, keeping you glued in the evening with the hottest issues in the country. And nothing beats KBN TV on weekends with entertainment 24/7. So if you want to get not only the best but the truth in current affairs, sports, business, entertainment, KBN TV is your finest television.
Right, still going strong right here on the Weekend GP. My name is Enoch Piri. Good morning wherever you are watching this particular edition from. And I just want to let you know that you can be part and parcel of the conversations that are going on this morning on the show via our social media platform. You can go to our Facebook page because we are streaming live there. Drop us a comment. Let me know if at all you've got a question for my guest this morning. We are looking at the current state of the film industry and Z showbiz. In other words, we are talking about how the Zambian business side of entertainment is supposed to be done. And to help me break down this issue, I've decided to call someone who is very familiar with the Zambian film industry. He has worked on different productions. If I start mentioning everything that he has done in the Zambian film industry, it may take me the whole day. But I'm talking about Owas Ray Mwape. Good morning, Mr. Mwape.
Morning, Mr. Pierre. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm great. Yeah. Yeah.
My condolences to you as a part of the Bemba tribes. You lost a very important person. That is the Queen.
My
condolences.
Yeah. No, thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Ray, to start with it, you've been in the industry for quite some time. You've done countless projects, starting with Kabanana, and now you are the executive producer of the current show that is Inkondo. Let's start from there. How has been your experience in general? Because you've lived certain generations, others have come, others have retired, others have gone to be with the Lord, but you are still here. How has been that journey for you?
First of all, I would want to thank God for that sort of grace. It hasn't been easy, of course. It's a journey, and every journey is a process, and the process always has certain hindrances, but you have to learn to be very consistent in terms of making sure that you achieve what you want. So the goal has always been to make sure that, first of all, I enjoy what I do, and then secondly, my aim and goal and vision has always been to impart that knowledge in the so many people that I've worked with, and so many of them that are still now trying to get out there to make sure that they also learn the craft and go with it.
Interesting. Now, how do you describe the status of film, the film industry currently? Are we making progress, or are we going backwards?
It's very interesting. The film industry is definitely making progress. And when I say progress, I mean we are now living in a global village. So meaning there's a lot of things that are now becoming easier. And now with even the coming in of artificial intelligence, you need to understand that there's going to be more content that is going to be hitting a lot of our platforms. Not only that, because every person now wants to create something to put in these different platforms. So the interesting part is that we are moving at a steady rate, of course, and with a film policy, for example, which was launched last year, so which is undergoing implementation right now. I think we are going on the right track, as can be seen by the number of different films that are going on big screen and different television programs that are being showcased on different TV channels. So that on its own is a plus, because right now we do have a lot of filmmakers in different provinces, not only in Lusaka. So that on its own is an indication that the sector is growing at a very, very fast rate. So yes, we are doing very well in terms of making sure that we are steady in growth.
Talking about growth, and one thing that I've noticed in the Zambian film industry is the final product and the market. I've seen a lot of filmmakers get frustrated after they invest so much into the film, but at the end, they don't know where to take the final product.
It starts from the word business. Okay, film is a business, and I want people to understand this. We have two industries right now. We have the film industry and we have the television industry. Okay, these two are very different. Even the shooting style of how we communicate using pictures is different. Okay, so before you think about going to create anything, think about your distribution first. That's the most cardinal point. Before you actually think about how am I going to make this film, who's going to buy your film, where are you going to take it to? That's the first thing. If we can try by all means to domesticate the issue of people understanding to say film is a business, unlike anything that we should just create as a social vagabond that we can just throw anyhow, it becomes a big problem. Now, I always like to teach this to young ones. When you create anything, create what to sell. Don't create to sell. Those are two different words. Okay? When you say create what to sell, what that actually means is you already have the market, you already are looking at the different marketing strategies that you're going to employ. You already have segmented the market on where you're going to send your product to. Okay? Now, producing to sell is where you just produce and say to whom it may belong. Okay? Now, to whom it may belong does not really have a target market, because then you're more like trying to experiment where the whole entire thing is going to go to. So as filmmakers, what we've started doing is to make sure we try to help the young ones as they come on board to say, look, this is a business. And as a business, we need to take it that way. We need to understand to say, acquiring one camera is very expensive. Putting together a team is very expensive. The project I'm executive producing costs a lot of millions of kwacha. It's not anything that people just think we're going to jump on. I have over 200 to 300 people that are employed and that are compliant, meaning they're paying tax, they're paying NAPSA, they're paying every other thing every month. So meaning we are adding to the GDP of this country. Those are some of the business strategies that people need to understand. And also to add to that, you need to understand to say when you see a film or a television program being created by Mr. Owas Ray Mwape, it doesn't mean he's the only one who is involved. I have a crew and casts that I have to look at. Apart from that, when we talk of bodies that we belong to, we have the National Arts Council of Zambia that we affiliated to, and NAMA, which is our immediate body, which also sits on the National Arts Council of Zambia, an act that was put into place in 1994. Now, what you need to understand is that on that board, there are line ministries. Okay. So those line ministries, each and every ministry also plays a part in what we are doing. There's a Minister of Community Development that is looking at folklore and heritage. There's a Minister of Justice that has to look at the legal aspect of everything that we are doing. There's a Minister of Commerce that has to look at the protocols and the marketing strategy that we're going to use if we are going to do international collaboration. There is a Minister of Education that now has to look at the faculty, because with the coming in of the Ministry of, the coming in of the film policy. There's all these kind of things. There's a Copyright Act that now we have to look at. There's a new copyright bill that has to go to Parliament very soon. So all those kind of things, if you look at, they touch what we are doing. So if they touch what we are doing, what does that imply? It means we are in business.
In business. Yes. Now the issue comes. I just want you to share your knowledge to help other filmmakers who are watching us this morning. I've noticed a lot of filmmakers or even executive producers, when they produce, it goes to the cinemas, and if I've attended one or two events where I'm invited, or sometimes I just buy a ticket, I see the people that watch these movies are the same very people. I'm sure you've watched a lot of productions.
No, which is true. You're actually very right. And this is something that we've kept on saying and which we are trying to put out to our fellow filmmakers. Film is a business, and you need to go out there and cast the net wider in terms of getting the audience. You cannot create films for your fellow filmmakers. Okay, your fellow filmmakers only come there not to enjoy the film, but to make sure that they castigate it or probably find faults and trying to say, oh, okay, I can do better than all these kind of things. So those are some of the things, and some of some of the things that we would like to keep pushing, to say, cast the net wider. How do we cast the net wider? It's by going out there to get a much different audience. Now, to get a much different audience, especially to come and watch films on big screen, first of all, it has to start by educating them the culture of big screen. The feeling that you get when you're watching a movie on big screen, unlike when you're watching it on the silver screen or anything. So those are some of the things that we are looking at. So yes, it is a challenge, and I'm glad that you've brought it up, because we see a lot of all these kind of things. I mean, a lot of so many groups where
even though I'm looking at the audience, they say it was fully packed. Then I can see Mr. Owas there. I can see a number of actors, and probably the majority of them haven't even paid because they were invited.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny now, when you as a fellow filmmaker does not attend the premiere, for certain people it becomes a big problem, because they kind of feel like, no, you don't support us. No, we don't need to support you. The audience needs to support you. So you do your homework right by making sure that you go out there and get the audience to come and watch your film. Because if you are not going to get people to come and watch your film, and you have the same people, like you are saying, coming to watch your film, then it means growth there is not really growing in that sector, because then you still are just mukugo pweza pamoja na pamoja, you know. And those are some of the things that we are trying so much, especially starting 2026. And we've spoken to the National Media Arts Association of Zambia, NAMA, in terms of making sure that we try to see the other avenues that can be brought up. I like what young Cosmas and is doing, because he's trying to break the protocol of taking films only. And I think this also has been done by Frank Sibuku as well. They are not only taking their films in the cinemas, they think about other places which have auditoriums. I remember Cosmas premiered the movie at what is this place? The college, the Mwanawasa College there. They have an auditorium. You can premiere at NIPA. You can premiere at whatever. I know those places do not have the professional 5.1 sound dubbing, but what that would do is that you are now tapping into a different audience. You are now taking films to the audiences. When we were growing up, we used to have what we used to call Martin shows, where those days were at Bascop, in communities where they would bring the film set up, they put up a tent and people walk in, too much small amounts of money, the people are going there to watch. We need to come to those. That's when we're going to say, yes, now we're getting into other audiences. So I like the fact that you are able to see these things, and I see that there are other 1-2 people that are beginning to think about breaking that barrier. Go to Matero, there are community halls there where you can still show your film and people will still come, even for as low as 20 kwacha, 10 kwacha. What is important is the more you become consistent in making sure that you're getting into other audiences, that is now what we call growth.
The last aspect on the film business part is the biggest hurdle has been us penetrating in other markets. I feel our stories are very good compared to some of the stories that have penetrated the Zambian market. What are we not doing right? Because I know we are doing something, but what are we not doing right to ensure that we are able to sell our Zambian stories out there?
I'll tell you, I'm glad that right now we are now in the social space where we can easily stream our productions and people from other parts of the world can watch. But I think what you need to understand is that film is a game of numbers. Okay, the people that you see have penetrated our markets have numbers. I'll give you a very good example. Let's speak on Nigeria. Nigeria has over 60 million
People.
Yes, people. We are only at how much? Is it 20, 21, 22?
Yes,
I don't know.
somewhere there.
Yes. So to them, even before the actual film makers themselves knew that their productions were in our country, they didn't even know. They started first of all to create productions for their own consumption.
Okay.
But because the population is big, people started going out with those films into other countries. And in those other countries, it actually now promoted piracy. And those big films now became all over. I remember, I think 2 or 3 of those Nigerian producers or actors, when they came to Zambia, and they went and saw the best of Trevor Noah, they were surprised. I was like, I don't even remember having shot any of these kind of things. Why? It's because that piracy industry also is a big one. And they started getting those and started making monies off them. So that's how this industry works. The biggest marketers in the world, the United States, they know exactly what that means. If you look at Bollywood, for example, Bollywood is big. Now, Bollywood makes its money from its own country because India itself has over, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 billion population. So they can manage to actually push their numbers and still get something out of that. If we can also now begin to look at, first of all, for starters, and I've always argued this, I said, for starters, look at your neighbors, like Malawi, that are able to understand your language. Look at Zimbabwe, for example, that are able to speak English.
For Malawi, I don't think it's a big problem. At least I've seen on the music side, film side, I've seen a number of productions.
Yes, but which is a plus. So because it means that has started going through those points because of what? Because of the social
networks.
Exactly, social networks that are being employed there. So we need to look at other markets. That's what I said earlier when I started. Before you produce anything, think about your markets. Who are you targeting? Where do you want your markets to take you? So if I'm going to produce a film and I'm thinking, no, this is only for Zambia, then what I'm basically doing is I'm cocooning myself in terms of growth for business.
All right, I want to get your view on the Zambian show business in general, and I've noticed in terms of, in line with what we are talking about, the business side of film, I've noticed we don't know how to hype up, we don't have the culture of promoting gossip. For example, if you are releasing a movie, there can be some sort of gossip that can come around, some sort of, just to bring out that excitement.
Mr. Piri.
In Zambia, I'll use a practical example. In the music circles, there was 2 artists. I am an artist myself. I've done drama, Natas, but won Best Supporting, didn't go very far, decided to switch to something else. I understand the industry from that perspective. So there was this gossip which came out. It was in public domain. I can mention it. Mumbayachi was dating Wezi. I'm sure you heard of that one. And the way the two came out to quench that fire, for me, I was like, this is an opportunity to sell and make business out of it from that particular gossip. But I've gone ahead to see it even in other industries where they make money out of these maybe fake relationships. We've seen it in the United States of America, but for Zambia, it's different. They'll come out and disclose non-verbal Zachabe, but instead of leveraging from the situation.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm laughing because I was thinking, now, Mr. Perry, did he read my mind, or did he once talk to someone who I was speaking to? I came out, I think, a few weeks ago, and I said, this country, and I looked at our sector, I said, the film industry is boring. People didn't understand what I meant. Okay? You can never run entertainment industry without the gossip industry. You want growth in entertainment, grow the gossip industry. I understand entertainment from that angle. Okay? That is why I always tell the young ones to say, why do you want so much to be very popular, to become this big star, and yet you don't want people to write about you? Then you're in the wrong sector. This sector involves to say, when you say, I'm going to be in public eye, meaning you are not going to hold accountable what the audience will thrive on in terms of thinking what they think about you. What that does, it grows business. That's why, if you know my motto, I always say, there's no good or bad publicity for as long as you spell my name right. That is now me. That is why everything negative that has ever been written about me, you will never find me going there to do it, to go and start fighting with someone. Hey, why are you writing this? Hey, why are you what? No, because I understand the business. In other countries, let's just pick Tanzania, for example. People sit in boardrooms to discuss how are we going to create controversy, or how are we going to grow this brand? What can we do so that we have numbers? Entertainment, the right word is relevance. How do you remain relevant? Okay.
Maybe it's because of the first one which resulted into becoming physical. Now that I'm talking about the Copala and the LSK, you remember that beef? Probably maybe people don't want to go that route because of what it had brought.
No, but you see, this is we conform to a lot of international standards. This is what the United States is doing. This is what the UK is doing. This is what Bollywood is thriving on. This is what Nollywood is thriving on. So when you create your own Zambian conservative way of doing, of approaching an entertainment industry, then you're not going to make your money. It's simply going to just be a charitable organization and a social sector where people just sit and you can't. If you look at music, for example, there are only two people that are making noise, and that's why they are thriving. It's either, if it's not Your Maps, it's Chile One.
And already, they are already...
Are you getting the point?
Already.
Exactly. They're in the public, but that is how they are pushing. Are you telling me when Your Maps go to make a show, it's flopping? No. But yet with all the negative controversy that surrounds them, tomorrow they will be on Chile One. That's the business. Okay? If you go to Tanzania, people like Diamond, he thrives on those kind of things. There are offices we went to where they have computers. People sit on computers every day to answer to social media or creating problems. That is the industry. That's why when we say your entertainment industry, what is it doing? How are you growing it? You need to know how to grow that sort of thing. You can never run, especially an entertainment industry, without gossip industry. When they write about you, you come back and you start making noise and trying to... No, forget about it.
Issue threats.
Leverage on that. Thrive and say, okay, so if this has come this way, how are we going to tackle it? And how can we make money off it. Okay, I'll give you a very good example. Recently, when my young girl Tiana started, what is this, trending. It took one person who called her and said, "Young girl, begin making money, start advertising on your page." She didn't understand. When she started, I called her, I said, "How's it going?" She said, "Do you know, in 5 hours I've made 38,000 kwacha."
Really?
Yes. So, what you need to look at is how do you make it.
Instead of getting depressed, you make 38,000.
And I'm talking 5 hours. Okay?
So
now,
why get depressed?
In other words, what I'm basically trying to tell you is that entertainment industry has got its own energy, and there's a way in which it is run. So we have a lot of people who feel they understand the entertainment industry. They don't. What they understand is their entertainment, their talent. Now, one thing that you need to understand is that talent alone can never take you anywhere. There are other things that are encompassed in the play to make sure that you thrive forward. So for those young ones that want to come into entertainment industry and don't understand this sort of thing, they're going to be staggered at the same place, and for years they get frustrated and pull out. This thing is not working, but others are making it. So how are others making it? You need to grow thick-skinned if you want to get into entertainment industry. But if you don't, but again, you see, the problem is that as Zambians, we are coming from a background of being very conservative.
Oh yes.
Okay, so as a result, that only everything you do is hivyo vingachitika Mzambia, mwandi Mazambians. No, the world is changing. How we communicate must change. So that is on its own is something that people need to begin to understand and begin to say, okay, so this is exactly how this entire thing is going to go. Look at the way they are attacking AI. I'll give you a very good example. People are attacking, they have attacked the, what is his name?
The prophet.
The prophet.
DM.
Hey, that was AI. What? And I'm looking at people and I'm laughing and I'm like, you people, do you know where the world is? That is a new thing.
This is where we are.
Right now, as I speak, there's a festival, film festival that will be happening in France. They're only looking for AI films, generated films.
Really?
Yes, that's where we're going. Very soon now they want AI. AI is here to enhance your workflow. It doesn't mean to say because it's AI, I'll just go and press and my name, and then what I'm thinking in my head, it begins to make. No, you need to program it.
Effort.
It's not a bit of. There is effort because you have to program it.
Okay.
And your brilliance and craftsmanship is what will give you a very good AI song or a very good AI film. So if you can't think about those and you begin to attack, it's because you don't know. So don't attack before you know. When we started, I remember we were doing Born and Bred. When I started, I was a judge on the show. I was doing hit or miss. I remember what would happen. Prince, I remember that time, would shoot very beautiful videos, and people would say, "No, that's not Zambian." And then they would pick certain videos that were mediocre. No, this is Zambian.
Around about.
I would hit that and say it's a miss. Why? This is how it should look like. Bit by bit, people
began to understand.
When the controversy between Slap D and Mark II began, Mark II was on the copper belt, I remember. And he came in, and remember it was 20, I don't know if you've heard the song at How 2010.
Yes.
Mubazi Wabene
Owas.
I'll tell you how.
I like that.
Exactly. Yeah. This is how it all began. I went and told Mark II, and he came. I remember they came to my place. I said, "Young man, you are doing a very good thing, but when you chroma, your chroma is not looking standard, neat. And your camera, you can't be using that small camera." And I remember at that time I just acquired an HDV camera, and I remember saying, "You can come and use mine." This is where we are. Okay? Now people didn't understand that, very biased. By that time, in Lusaka, things were happening. But what happened? And I'm glad that it took a guy on the Copper Belt. He was called the Copper Belt's finest. That guy
CB's finest.
exactly,
I remember that name.
started making proper videos. And he's the one who started making his videos. And now people were able to see, okay, so there's this change. And the new wave of doing things now began in the video fraternity. People now were scared to say, no, when we take our video, that guy there will say it's a miss. So let's also try to do this. And we changed the face of how video should look like. That's what it is. So sometimes certain things, it's not that people should just be attacked. And those people that are attacked, you say, hey, Achaya AI, don't relent. It's a start point. It will pick.
All right, I wish we could go on and on, but before I let you go, there is a pressing issue that is the proposed bill, the ownership and duration of copyright. These are sections to explain legally owned copyright in the creative work and how long that copyright protection lasts before the work can be freely used by the public. And what are the rights of the performers. So PACRA has put something on the public, that is the proposed bill for copyrights, and I've monitored several sections of the entertainment industry, particularly I've seen from the music circles, they are not okay with the proposed bill by PACRA. I don't know how you can summarize it. I know it's a 100-page document.
It is actually, and still as by yesterday we were still studying it. We've seen there are certain things that look good in there, but there are certain things that we feel as the entertainment industry, we kind of feel it's more to silence our voice instead of preserving the culture. Okay, artistry is preservative of culture, but it looks more like you need to be silenced. And mostly when I look at it, I can tell it's emanating more from some of the things that have not been regulated in terms of what should go on air or what should not go on air. And mostly some of it is, of course, we live in a world of politics. We can't take away the fact that a political party plays a great role in terms of making sure that some of these things go. So if politicians feel there's a certain part that they don't feel good about, they'll push it to the audience, or they'll find ways and means of making sure that that part is a little bit obscure. Even if I went into politics, I would probably do the same. So sometimes we need to understand human nature. But what is important is, instead of going out there to throw stones and to begin to argue and fight or get into a tug of war, get a round table audience and begin to talk. And when you talk, there's always a way in which you win, I win. Okay? You'd say, oh, okay, fine, this is what we want. Oh, okay, no, but when you do that, this is how this will affect us. So how best can we also bring in something so that we all can meet each other halfway? And that is the thing that we need to employ. I'm not a believer from ways back of trying to fight powers that be in a way. I understand they're doing their work, but what is important is, from your sector, sit down and now begin to agree to say, okay, where is this emanating from? They'll probably give you certain things that you don't know. And then also, as artists, we need to also begin to understand or rather, let me say, we need to learn to read and understand these things. Because by this time, the bill, people are seeing this thing. Where were we when it was beginning? Because that's the first time we should have looked at it and said, oh, okay. Now, because it is put together and no one went forth to say, hey, this can we stop this here? And yeah, that's when we are now becoming reactive. I don't think we should get into
that has been a culture, not
Yeah.
only with this
Exactly.
bill. I've noticed a number of bill people come and
react.
react and say, this is not what we had proposed. Where
Exactly.
is this coming from?
Exactly.
And
I think it's a culture thing. And if you look at it, you'll find, I've seen even in places, people build houses up to even push on a roof level and everything. That's when the council comes in to say, no, you're encroached here. You're not supposed to build here. We are breaking it down. But where were you from foundation up to? That's exactly the problem that we have, and we need to begin to change these cultures and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Because of where it has reached, we need to engage government and sit. Let's have a talk. Where is this thing going? How has it come about? I remember when we were talking about a very important issue of why we are given 0.003% in the budget, and we were talking to one guy from the Ministry of Finance. You know what he said? He said, no one comes through. Guys, we didn't know the things you're telling us. We don't know. So how are we going to put them out there? And I went back to my fellow artists and I said, you see, because we've not made art as a business, the government does not understand. And why the government does not understand is, number one, we are not compliant. A lot of us are not compliant. Government can only gauge what we're doing through compliance. That's all. If you are running away when people come and say, oh, okay, can we pay you by check? No, just pay in a munipasa cash. Yeah. Or mobile money, because you are trying to run away from pay cash, pay tax. You don't want to pay tax, and only a handful of people are paying tax. So the government gauges that and say, oh, okay, only these people. So this is how the sector is operating, but that's not how it is. So I would like to be very controversial, and sometimes I don't want to go out there to keep fighting government because of the wrongs that we are doing as artists. Before you actually go out there, let's first of all begin by looking at ourselves, sitting together as a team, create an endeavor and say, what are the things that we are not doing right? If we learn to manage ourselves properly and then go out there and speak with a voice, with one voice, government will listen. Government will understand this sector, this is what they're saying. Unlike being reactive, when in the actual sense we are not trying by all means to do things in the right way that is supposed to be. So let's put the arts together as a business. Let's pay tax. Let's pay NAPSA. Let's pay, what is this hospital thing?
NIMA,
all those kind of things. Yes, that's a compliance I'm talking about. When we do those kind of things, government there will be looking at it. Hey, so all this, these guys are performing, but we want everything. If you have backdoor. How then are we going to sit and our voice getting heard? It's difficult. So even when you sit in these big meetings with government, that's the only language they understand. When you sit with them, number one, compliance. What are you doing? If you are not, then they'll throw you to social sector because there's nothing that you're doing. Now, if you look at it, with 0.03% that we are given as artists, do you know when we take back Turapanga 3% to the GDP, which is showing to say, if this can be put properly, we could do more. We could do more.
So we are contributing to the economy. It's only verbally. It's not tangible. It's not visible.
Tangible is compliance. How do we do that? No, I'm an MC for in much time MC Chan. Oh, okay. Mulipire bakulipira katushinga wachichaja 8 pin. You don't want to be compliant. Ulefua no inemu kumpela cash. Oh, inekunchita shan. Tomorrow you'll be the first one that will be making noise. Upanga mafyumu ufuna vonse visitika. No. Let's learn to make our artistic business as business.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mwape, for coming through.
Excellent.
And I wish we could have an entire day discussing so many issues and all that. But this is TV. It has got its own time.
Oh, it has got its own time, you know. And when you speak about things to do with art, you talk and talk.
Yes.
But I love it. I love it. Thanks.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Excellent, Mr. Pierre.
I will be inviting you more and more.
No problem. I'll be available.
All right. Okay, on that note, we come to the end of today's edition of the Weekend GP. Be rest assured to join me next week, same time, same place. For now, it's a lovely good morning. I just want to say thank you to my director, William Chongo, and the rest of the crew working behind this production, the KBN TV crew. For now, continue watching the rest of the programming.